Hello everyone, welcome back to Let's Talk About Singing. My name is Marco. I'm a singer, songwriter, voice teacher from Italy, living in New York City. Today I want to talk about the Sanremo festival that just ended last night. The Sanremo festival is the most popular competition for Italian music. It's been going on since the 50s. It is a cultural event. Everyone in Italy and even outside of Italy know about it. Some of the most popular songs in Italian music history came out of the Sanremo festival. Huge artists that became successful all over the world, like Eros Ramazzotti, Laura Pausini, Andrea Bocelli. They all started their career at the Sanremo Festival. With this video, I want to talk about my favorite songs of the festival. I'm going to do a top 5 of what I consider the most interesting, the most particular, the songs that are worth talking about, even in terms of creating a conversation about music, songwriting, and singing. And in no way I'm saying that some of the songs are better than the others. I'm not trying to make comparisons between artists or songs. I think that comparisons in music just make no sense whatsoever. I'm just trying to use some songs to offer some insights and hopefully open a conversation with you guys where we can discuss about your opinions as well. Before we start, I just want to remind everyone that if you want to book a free class, coaching session, consultation with me, you can send me a message at letstalkaboutsinging84@gmail.com or find me on Instagram at perfectmark.music and send me a private message there. I'm also on TikTok. Finally, I gave up and I joined TikTok, so you can find me at perfectmark.music as well. If you want to listen to my music, that would make me so happy. Just find me on any streaming platform, Spotify, Deezer, Apple Music, Amazon Music, whatever you use. Look up Perfect Mark. You can listen and let me know what you think. Okay, let's start with my top 5 favorite Sanremo songs. At number 5, I put Achillelauro with Domenica. First of all, I think the song is fun, light. It puts me in a good mood. It's one of those songs that I'd like to put in the car, while you drive, or listen as you walk outside in the city on a beautiful day. It just has this good vibe that I really like. Achillelauro is definitely a performer. And this is an interesting thing that I want to talk about. How he doesn't just perform the song, but he performs with his body, in using, accessories, look. He's very provocative. He's very even weird sometimes. But when it comes to the vocal performance, that kind of helps in different ways. Singers at the festival this year were not the best when it comes to vocals, and especially when it comes to enunciation and support or technique. If you know me and you've watched my previous videos, in no way I'm saying that in order to be a great singer, you have to be a great technical singer. But there's a fine line between not being perfect and being off. I think that Achillelauro is a perfect example to talk about this thing, meaning that he's not the best singer, he's not the most polished singer, is not perfect, sometimes he's off pitch, but this is all part of who he is. This is part of his artistry, it's part of his character, it's part of the performance as well. There is nothing polished about him. There's nothing that's supposed to be polished. So if he was singing in a very pretty way, that would probably go against what he's trying to do, which is kind of like break the rule and delivering this attitude where he feels like he just doesn't care because he's kind of a rebel. And when it comes to enunciation, that's another thing that I noticed in him compared to some other artists that were really dragging the words and mumbling, and I really had a hard time understanding the lyrics. In the case of Achillelauro, he sings with this kind of like Roman accent, which again, it's part of who he is. So the way he drags the words, it is all part of an act. It is a stylistic choice. He intends to not make the lyrics polished and very well enunciated, but I still understand them in some way better than other artists that don't do this as a choice, but just as maybe a lack of diction. And then we gotta give him some props because he was able to bring the Harlem Gospel Choir on stage. So look at the contrast of this performance. On one side, we have him bare-chested, being provocative as always, dragging the words, making all his weird movements, even recreating some sort of baptism on the first night, dropping some water on his head. And then in the back, we have this angelic choir, gospel, perfect vocals, belting, just the amazing vocals that Harlem Gospel Choir always delivers. And I think that is it. You can be your own artist without being an incredible singer, but you can work in function of creating a performance that is artistic. And this pairing was so weird, and at the same time, it worked so perfectly. And also, for the first time, we saw some gospel on the Sanremo stage, so I really need to give him some props. And this is why I really like this song and this performance. I think he really did a great job. I think we witnessed an artistic performance, not just the song, not just the singer, but a performance as a whole. Moving on, at number 4, I put Elisa with Forse Sei Tu. I love Elisa. I love her since the beginning. I am a hardcore fan of Elisa from Pipes and Flowers, her first album. Elisa is just simply not only one of the best singers in Italy, I think one of the best singers in the world, and also an incredible songwriter. What I really loved about her is that she really sang amazingly and perfectly. Vocally, she was not a step above everyone else. She was a stairway to heaven above everyone else. And this is very important. I mean, especially on a singing competition. I understand that the tendency of today's music is more like rapping and being your own artist and not being exactly the classical type of singer. But I think that between the classical type of singer and being kind of bad, there's a lot of in-betweens that we can fit. Elisa is simply flawless. Her vocal delivery was amazing. And you know, a lot of people say, oh, artists are nervous because it's a Sanremo festival and the nerves take over them and the emotion makes them go off key and makes their voice shaky. And I totally respect that. And yes, singing on that stage is probably nerve-wracking and tension happens and that affects your voice. And sure, I believe that and I take that into consideration. But Elisa admitted that she was also nervous and that she was actually terrified of the stage. And this is the difference between being a very good singer and being a singer that doesn't have awareness and control of their own voice. Despite being nervous, there are ways to control the nerves and put them actually in favor of the performance. There are ways to keep your breathing under control, to distend your muscles, to avoid tension even when you're freaking out. And she clearly demonstrated that. She was never off. She was capable of being perfectly technical and at the same time perfectly emotional and communicative and interpretive of her song. The song itself, it's not my favorite, and this is probably because when it comes to someone like Elisa, I have such high standards of songwriting because I absolutely love her since the beginning and I know what she's capable of writing. And it felt to me that she went a little towards a safe choice for the Sanremo Festival. It is a perfect song for Sanremo, but you know, when she won 21 years ago with Luce was a song that nobody has ever heard before. It didn't sound like anything else. It was new, fresh, original, very personal. It was so her. This one to me seems more like a good song with a good melody, a very nice ballad, sung perfectly, but from her, I kind of expect a little more of risks to be taken, and this was a safe choice. But she sang it so perfectly that when I was watching the festival, when it was finally her time, I was like, thank God my ears are finally resting. This is like listening to an instrument. She is an instrument. Number 3 on my list is Kimika by Rettore and Dito Nella Piaga. I mean, Rettore is an icon. If you are young and you don't know about Rettore, I would definitely suggest you to go check out her 80s songs. She is a genius performer and songwriter. Her music was groundbreaking in the 80s. Super provocative, super clever. Her lyrics are amazing. Her songs are huge. In Italy, everybody knows her songs. Cobra, La Mette, Splendido Splendente. They are just iconic songs in Italian history. And I feel like Dito Nella Piaga almost paid a tribute to this. The song is Dito Nella Piaga featuring Rettore, but it sounds like it could be a Rettore song. I love that it's reminiscing of that 80s dance vibe, but with a little bit of punky attitude. It's super ironic, it's sexy. It just makes you want to dance and makes you want to sing along. You cannot forget. After you hear it once, kimika, 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 you just want to sing along and not care at all. And that is the attitude that Rettore got us used to. this being careless and free and just sing at the top of your lung and having fun, and then at the same time provoking and being a little naughty, but with a good song. I have to say that this year I liked the up-tempo songs more than the ballads. And that's why number 2, I'm gonna put my personal favorite song of the festival, which is Chow Chow by La Rappresentante di Lista. I just think the song is amazing on so many levels. First of all, harmonically, it's super interesting. The harmonic progression is great, especially the bridge. You know, there is a key change there, which is super interesting. She sounds really good. Her interpretation is, you know, witty and a little naughty. There is a certain attitude that is fun and provocative. But the lyrics are also super clever. You might not have paid attention to it, but she's talking about the end of the world. She's talking about the fact that the earth is falling apart, and at the same time we're just dancing because we don't care. So there is a lot of dark humor in the lyrics, but it's delivered with this gorgeous disco arrangement. Super contemporary, super current. This could be a Dua Lipa song. If it was in English, it would be a #1 all over the world. I'm telling you, it would be on top of the charts. I kind of wish that this song had a chance to win, because I would have loved to see this on Eurovision, because I think that this is a perfect Eurovision song. The bass breakdown, the horn arrangements with the da da da, everything is super funky disco 70s. Overall, musically, considering all the elements, lyrics, music, harmony, melody, arrangement, it's definitely the best work of the festival, the more well thought. It's fun and catchy, and at the same time, it's musically interesting and very well arranged with very clever lyrics. So for me, this is the whole package, and it's definitely my personal favorite. Number 1 on the list, yeah, it's the winning song, Mahmood and Blanco, Brividi. Yes, totally well deserved. They were great in many different ways. They are very good singers. Mahmood has this very unique, particular tone, and he's also a great songwriter. You can hear his songwriting here and there in the song. You can tell which parts are more of his input. I love the way the melody is constructed. Nudo con I brividi, da 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 da. Switches of register in chest voice, control, harmonies. Ti vorrei amare ma sbaglio sempre, e ti vorrei amare ma sbaglio sempre. For some reasons, I don't know why, when people sing duets at Sanremo Festival, they often go unison, and I'm like, why would you go unison when you can harmonize and create beautiful vocal harmonies like in this case? And Blanco is only 18, and he sounded so much better than a lot of people that are 80 years old and have performed there for 50 times. The song is fresh and current, and at the same time is quintessential Italian. And this is why I think it deserves the first place, because it blends very well the traditional Italian sense of melody with things that are more current, like hip hop and R&B. And it could be a ballad that has been written years ago, and at the same time it could be a Justin Bieber song or a Charlie Puth song or a Shawn Mendes song. You know what I'm saying? So I love when Italian artists are capable of bringing an international flavor to their songs without losing their Italian essence. And that's exactly why the song deserves the prize. It's a very beautiful Italian song with an international flavor, with a fresh sound, totally respectful of the tradition, but with a contemporary vibe. So I definitely agree with the results of the night. And as I said, this is my personal top 5. Nothing against the other artists. I'm not saying that some artists are better than others. I'm just using these artists to talk about things that are useful when it comes to singing, writing, music in general. But let me know what you think, and let me know who are some of your other favorite in the comment section. I hope you enjoyed my video. As I said at the beginning, you can book a free class with me if you want. All my links are in the description of the video. If you like this video, make sure you follow me and give me a thumb up. I'll see you soon with another video. This is Marco. Let's talk about singing. Ciao.